Hi guys, welcome back to ladensercrotchets. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. My name is Liz. Kindly subscribe and join the family. In this tutorial, we're going to be making this crop top. It's a very simple multicolored top that I'm sure you're going to enjoy making as much as I did. Get the materials and let's get into it. I'll be working with my 4mm crochet hook, and you really don't have to use the 4mm. I love the hook, that's why I use it so much in my projects. Then I'm going to use these 4 colors. Then you're going to need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, a stitch marker, and a measuring tape. Then you're going to take your bust measurement, the full length of the top and the sleeve length. I'll start by working something like this before I finish it up on the bottom and also on the top. So I'm going to start with the pink, the hot pink that is. So grab your yarn, the first yarn that you want to start with, and begin with a slip knot. Then chain 10. After the 10 chains, hold the last chain that you've just done and chain 1 more. Then yarn over, put your hook into that chain that you're holding, yarn over, grab a loop so that you have 3 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through all the 3 to complete a half double crochet. Yarn over, go into the next chain and do a half double crochet. Do 1 half double crochet into the next chain and into all the chains till you get a total of 10 half double crochets. I'm at the end of row 1 and I have the 10 half double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. We begin row 2 in this very first stitch. So yarn over, put your hook into the first stitch and yarn over and complete a half double crochet. Into the next stitch, do 1 half double crochet. Then we do a half double crochet into all the chains, into all the stitches, that is. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then into the last stitch do the 10th half double crochet. We are done with row 2. Chain 1, turn to begin row 3. Begin in the very first stitch with a half double crochet and do 1 half double crochet into all the stitches for a total of 10. I'm at the end of row 3. I'm going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 4, and then I'll work up to row 8. Then I'll be back after the end of row 8 to show you what to do next. This is after the 8 rows, and now we're going to measure to see what we have, and we're measuring from here to here. We are measuring diagonally. So I'll just get my measuring tape, place it where we have the hook, then place it to that point where we started, and then stretch. So when I stretch this, it's getting me to 7, and that means one of these is giving me 7 inches when stretched. So now I'm going to take my bust measurement and divide it by 7. The bust measurement that I'm working is 36. So you'll take the bust measurement, mine is 36, and I'll divide it by 7, and this will give me 5 point something. And so I'll work a total of 5 of these. But now because I'll need 5 point something, I'll round it off to the nearest number, and so I'm going to work 6 of them. So if your bust is, say, 42, so that means if your bust is 42, you divide by 7, this will give you 6. And that means the top that I'm working will be a top that can be worn by a person who has a bust of between 36 to 42. So now, from this point, we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then, after the 10, you're going to hold the last chain and chain one more, then work 1 half double crochet into all the chains till you have a total of 10. So when you come into the end, this is how we work in. This is the 9th one, the 9th chain. And then for the last half double crochet, I'm going to work it right here. And this is what you're going to have. Then chain 1 and turn to begin the next row. Work a half double crochet into all the stitches. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3, then place 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches, and then you're going to work a total of 8. So let me work my 8 rows in this second, should we call it a panel or a square? Yeah, in this second square, and then I'll be back. I'm working a total of 8 rows for each of them. I'm done with 2 of the squares, so this is what we have now. And next we're going to do a third, a fourth, a fifth, up to 7. I'm going to do a total of 7 of these. So from here where we've ended, chain 10, then you're going to hold that 10th stitch, the 10th chain, and chain 1 more, work half double crochet into the 10th chain, and 1 half double crochet into all the chains. So this is where the last stitch goes. Chain 1 and turn to begin the second row, and then work a total of 8 rows. I've decided that I don't want my top to be too tight, and therefore instead of working the 6 squares that I had mentioned earlier, I'm going to work 7 of them. So I'll be back once I have the 7 squares completed. So this is after my 7 panels, and what I'm going to do is chain 1 at the end, and then I'm going to cut, leaving a longer tail, slightly long tail for attaching on the other side, then pull the yarn through, and I have the 7 squares. So I'm going to join the end with the first part that we started with. Just going to get my darning needle, put the yarn through, and then you just want to make sure that you're not twisting your work as you join the sides. So just bring the first and the last panel together and join, just join right there. I'll use the 2 yarns to make a knot at that point, and another one which is tight. Then whatever remains, I'll weave it in. So I'll just take the 2 ends together and weave them in. Then I'll just cut off the extra ends. So after joining, this is what we have. These are 7, and when I stretch this, it stretches to 36. Like I mentioned, it can fit someone with a bust of between 36 and 42. 42 is when it's completely stretched out. So next I'm going to get the second color, and my second color is orange, so I'll get the orange color. and the hook. Then we're going to get one of the squares at this point, at the side where the stitches are really visible. Put your hook through the first stitch, grab the yarn, and then you're going to leave an end that you're going to work over. Chain 1. We are working over this end. Yarn over, go into that very first stitch and place 1 half double crochet. Yarn over, place a half double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the third, and do a total of 10 half double crochets. Then chain 1 and turn to begin the next row. Again, work the 10 half double crochets and do a total of 8. So I'll do a total of the 8 rows of 10 half double crochets each with the orange. I'm done with the 8 rows of the orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so at the end, I'm just going to chain 1, leave a long tail, and cut off the yarn, then pull through and fasten. And then let me just hold my work the right way so that I can show you how to attach. So now we are at that point, and so this part is supposed to be attached to this next, to the pink. I seem to have, let me hold it the right way. Let me ensure that everything is not twisted. So make sure that when you're attaching on this end, you're not on the part that has the visible stitches. So now I'll get the darning needle and I'm going to attach this orange with the pink. So from here I'll just attach the corresponding rows. So you can weave however you feel is appropriate for you or is okay for you, as long as you join the two pieces together the right way with the rows corresponding each other. So at the end, the two pieces are joined like that. Then whatever remains, I'll weave it in. Then cut off the extra end, cut it off. And now this is what we have. Now you're going to need to work the orange all the way, but before I get to the orange on top of each of the squares, I'll work the next color, and my next color is yellow. So I'll get the yellow and work it on top of the orange that I've just worked. Beginning with the side where the stitches are visible, which is on this side, I'll get my hook, put it in the first stitch, grab the yellow yarn, and put it through, then chain 1, yarn over, go back into that stitch with a single crochet, into the next with a not single crochet but half double crochet. So place 1 half double crochet into all the stitches and work a total of 8 rows with the yellow yarn. I'm done with the 8 rows with the yellow, and at the end I'm just going to chain 1 and cut off, leave a tail that you can use to attach to the next panel and pull through, then fasten. So now you're going to measure these three, and this is the length of the top up to right now I'm at around 10, and that represents the length from your armpit to the waist. So I want to work a length of 11 from the armpit to the waist, and therefore because I'm at around 9.5, I need to do a few more rows to get to 11. Then I'll do the extension at the bottom with the green and another extension on top with the green also. So I've already done 2 of these with the orange, with the pink, orange and the yellow. So I'm moving right into the next one. So in the next one I'll do the orange and the yellow, then I'll go to the next, do the orange and yellow, go all the way around and make sure that each of these pink panels have an extension with the orange and the yellow. Then I'll be back once I have completed all that, then we can join the pieces together. So from this point we are moving straight into the next panel. So this joins here. I'll turn to the other side. This will join like this. Alternatively, you can join whatever part you're able to join. Let me join the parts that have a corresponding side to join, then move on into the next panel. So right here, I'll start with the yellow and join it with the orange on that side. Then we have the orange and the pink right here. We join it. So now this is what I have, and I'm just going to turn my work to the next pink panel and reattach the orange. Then I'll keep going with the attaching until I've attached on all the pink panels, until I have the orange and the yellow. So this is after working the orange and the yellow panels. I'm in the last yellow, and I'm just going to attach it to the orange one. And now this is what we have. We are at a length of, let's see, a length of 9. And because I love an extension with the green at the bottom, that will be able to take me to 11. So I've worked with the green to flatten out the bottom part of the top, and I'm just going to show you how to do that with this part that is remaining. I've already flattened all the other parts, and what you're going to do is just get one of the pink or one of the squares, reattach the yarn at the beginning. I'm going to reattach the green yarn. At this point, then chain 1, half double crochet into that stitch. That is the very first stitch at that corner. Then I'm going to work till I have 2 stitches remaining. So I'm going to work a total of 8 stitches. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So once you have the 8 stitches, we're going to combine the last 2 stitches into one for a reduction. So yarn over, go into the 9th stitch, yarn over and grab a loop so that you have 3 loops. Do not complete the half double crochet. Then put the hook into the last stitch and grab a loop, and you're going to have a total of 4 loops. Then yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops, and that will be the 9th stitch after reducing the last 2 stitches into one. Chain 1 and turn to begin the next row. We begin the next row with a reduction. So go into the first stitch without yarning over and grab a loop, yarn over, go into the second stitch and grab a loop. Then you're going to have 4 loops, yarn over and pull through all the 4. We've reduced right there. Then all the other stitches will just get 1 half double crochet. At the end, you should have a total of 8 stitches in row 2. So we're only reducing on this one side, then the other side remains straight. Chain 1 and turn. Begin with 1 half double crochet into that stitch, first stitch. Then we're going to work till we have 2 stitches remaining. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I have these 2 stitches that I'm going to combine into one. Yarn over, put your hook into the second last and grab a loop, put your hook into the last, grab a loop, get 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all the 4. Chain 1 and turn. We are reducing again on this side, so we are flattening this part. Begin with a reduction in the first 2 stitches, and then all the other stitches will get just 1 half double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Chain 1 and turn. This next row is going to have 5 stitches, so we work until we have done 4 in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then reduce in the last 2. Chain 1 and turn. The next row is going to have 3 stitches. Start with a reduction. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Chain 1 and turn to begin the next row. This one is going to have 3 stitches, so begin with a half double crochet, 1 and 2, then reduce in the last 2. Chain 1 and turn. The next row is going to have 8 stitches, not 8 but 2 stitches. Begin with a reduction. So that's the first, and then the second one. Those are 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. And the last row, to reduce in the last row, I'm going to put my hook into the first stitch, grab a loop, put it into the second stitch, grab a loop, so that we have 3 loops, and yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops. Then chain 1, cut off the yarn and leave an end that we're going to use to sew. Pull through and fasten. And so after working or after flattening that part, this is what we're going to have. Now I did the same thing for all the other parts, and then I'm going to reattach to connect these two parts right here. So grab the darning needle and just connect the two sides. And you're going to do this for all those parts until you have the bottom part flattened like this. Now I've also gone ahead to flatten the front, the upper part of the top. As you can see, when you work all those reductions, this is what you're going to have before attaching the panels together. So this is what I have. There's one that is remaining that I've not worked, this one right here. So after reconnecting the yarn, I've already worked the half double crochet, and this part remains flat as this one is reduced, so that it makes a triangle. So I'm just going to work the reduction same way I've done with the bottom part, and then after that I'll connect all the panels and I'll come back. Let me do this and come back and show you how it will look like once you flattened all the parts before connecting the panels together. So right here I'm supposed to do a reduction in the last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and again begin with a reduction. So this is after all the reductions on the top part. As you can see, the first one I reconnected here and reduced, then I went over to the next square and all the way around, and now it's time to connect the pink panels with the yellow. So just grab the darning needle using this. I'll just hold my work like this, begin in that very first row and onto the first row of the yellow. Then just sew the same way we've been sewing, and I'm going to do this for all these parts. Then I'll come back once I've attached all of them, and at that point we'll have the upper part flat and the lower part flat too. After flattening both the bottom and the upper part, this is what I have. And now I'm going to divide this into 2 so that I can work the back part alone and the front part alone. So because I have a total of 7 of these, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, half will be 3 1/2. So that's why I'm holding my work like this. So I'll work from the middle of this one up to this end. So I'm going to reattach the green yarn in the middle of this triangle or that panel, in the exact middle right here. I'll grab the green yarn and reattach it. then chain 1. I'm working on the rows, so in that row I'm going to place 1 half double crochet. In the row that follows, I'll place 2 half double crochets into the same row, then 1 half double crochet into the row that follows, into the next one 2 half double crochets, one half double crochet into the next row, two half double crochets in the row that follows, one half double crochet into the next, then into the next row 2 half double crochets, then the next row will get just 1 half double crochet, the next will get 2, so I'm just going to alternate like that. Let me place a stitch marker at that point where I want to go up to this point right here. That's where I'll place my last stitch. So now I'll just keep going with the half double crochets. When I place 2 in the next row, I'll place 1, then the next row 2, and I'll keep going till I get to the stitch marker. Keep going up to this point. So this is the last row, and that's where I'll place my last stitch, and then I can pull out the stitch marker. Then chain 1 and turn. Place 1 half double crochet into that first half double crochet, and 1 half double crochet into all the stitches until you get to the end of row 2. So I've done a total of 16 rows, and this will give me 8 inches when it is slightly stretched. You can slightly stretch the upper part. The lower part is the part that you don't measure while stretching. So after stretching this slightly, it gets me to 8 inches, which is the full length now, which gets us to the shoulders of the top. And you're done with the back panel. But do not cut off the yarn at the end of the back panel. We're just going to work the front panel from this part. So what I'll do is measure this part, that is that upper part. The length is 16, so take the 16 minus 6 inches, and that will give me 10 divided by 2. So you're taking the measurement of the upper part, mine is 16, then you're going to take whatever you get, subtract 6 inches. So 16 for me minus 6 will be 10. And then after the 10, you're going to measure to take the 10 divided by 2, and that will give me 5. So I'm measuring 5 inches on each side. I'll just measure on this one side. Then on the other side, I'll just count the stitches. So I've measured the 5 inches and marked. Then on this side, I'll count the same number of stitches as whatever I have on this side. So the stitches are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So I'm going to count 15 stitches from the other side and mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'll mark the 16th stitch right here. So I'll just move this stitch marker, then I'll know when I start on this end where we have the yarn, I'll work 15 stitches. So I'm going to move the stitch marker to the 16th stitch. So that means when working the front part, I'll first work one side, and then I'll reattach the yarn and work the other side. So from here I'm going, this is the last stitch, so I'll just work it. Then I'm going to chain one, and I've turned my work. So I'll start on the first stitch and work 15 half double crochets. So 1, so that's 15. After the 15, I'll chain one and turn to work the second row of the front panel. Again, I'm just going to place one stitch into every stitch for a total of 15 half double crochets. That's row 2, chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. And again, row 3 is going to have 15 half double crochets. So that's the end of row 3. Now I'm going to take the number of rows that I've worked in the back panel divided by 2, and I'm going to work 16 divided by 2 is 8. So I'll work a total of 8 rows with the 8 with the half double crochets, with the 15 half double crochets. So I'm row 3, I'll chain 1 and turn to begin row 4, and then I'll work till I get to row 8, then I'll be back once I get to row 8. This is after the 8 rows, and this folds on the inside like this, and that means we have 8 rows remaining to work right here. Now I want to end on the inner part, and therefore I'll do one extra row that will get me to 9 rows, so that I end on this side. And now I've already chained one, so I'm just going to turn to the other side and work that one extra row. One row won't change that much, so it's okay to have an extra row. So you could have 7, 8 or 9 rows. Once I get to the end of row 9, I'm going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point, pull through and fasten. Next, so this is one side, and because I worked up to row 9, that means I have 7 rows remaining to get to the end of the front part. So then I'm going to move to the stitch next to the stitch marker and reattach my green yarn there. Now this was a 16 stitch, and because I need 15 stitches, I'll reattach into the stitch next, right here. You're leaving an end that you're going to work on, then chain 1, go back into that stitch with half double crochet into the next stitch, and make sure that you have a total of 15 half double crochets to this end. Then because I've worked a total of 9 rows on this side, I'll also work a total of 9 rows. So let me work the 9 rows, and I'll be back once I've done the rows. I'm done with the 8 rows, the 9 rows on the other side. So we have that part and this other part like that, and we have now the 7 rows that are remaining in order to get to 16. And to work the 10th row, I'm just going to chain 1, then turn my work and work up to this point. Then I'll not turn once I get here, so work the 15 stitches, Once you get there, you need to count the number of stitches that have been left in the middle. So count them and make a chain that is the same number of stitches. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So from this point, I'm going to chain 19 chains. Once you get to 19, you'll go over to the other side and reattach. So yarn over, go into this first stitch on the other side and work a half double crochet right there. Then continue with the half double crochet to the other end, to the end of this row now, and this will be the end of row 10. So now we are in row 10, and this is what we have. We've just created the neckline of our top. Now next we chain 1 and turn to begin row 11. Chain 1, turn, and we're going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch, including the chain stitches. So I'll just work the half double crochets to where the chains begin. Now once you get to the chain, start working on the chains and working the first chain right here into the next chain, and make sure that you have a total of 19 half double crochets, or the number that you've chained. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. You want to ensure that the number of half double crochets that you're going to have are the same as the number of chains that you had on the upper part that we had left out. So just place 1 half double crochet into all the chains. Then once you get to this point, let me work and get there so that I can show you how to work. I'm just placing 1 half double crochet into every chain, and you want to ensure that you have a total of 19 chains, all a total of the chains that you did. Now this last chain, I'll work it right here. So instead of working here, I'll work at this point. So yarn over and work the 19th chain right there. Then continue onto the stitches on the other side and work to the end. And this will be the end of row 11. I should work a total of 16 rows, and so once I get to the end of row 11, I'll just chain 1 and turn, and for the next 5 rows I'll just place 1 half double crochet into every stitch. So I'll do that and come back once I have my 16 rows complete. So now this is after the 16 rows of the front panel, and now it comes down to this part right there. And from here, I'm just going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut off, leaving a tail that is long enough to attach this part to the bottom part all the way to the end. So I want to leave a long end and cut off yarn, then pull it through, and then fasten. Then I'll grab the stitch marker and mark this end, join it with this part right here. Then I'll just turn my work like this, get the Danny needle and use it to attach these two parts. Now you need to determine the wrong side while sewing these two parts together all the way to the end. So I'll begin from a row, from not exactly from where I attached, just a row after where I reattached the yarn on the other side. So the darning needle, so you just need to align your work well and ensure that you sew this part proportionately until you get to the other end, and that will create the armholes. So I've joined to the end, and I'm just going to put a knot right there, then weave in that end, and cut off whatever remains. This is the wrong side of my top, so I'll just turn it to the right side. And this is what we have right now. I'll do a little extension at the bottom, and then we'll be done with this crop top. So grab the green yarn, and holding my work like this, I'll reattach my yarn at the corner, and I want to reattach on the inner part. I want to work 2 rows, just reattach the yarn, then go into that row with 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, sorry. Then I'll go to the next row and do 1 half double crochet. Now for the bottom part, I'll place just 1 half double crochet into all the rows, all the way around till I get back to this corner. So in the next row, just 1 half double crochet, then into the next one, half double crochet once, and just place 1 half double crochet into every row. I'm at the end, and I'm just placing the last half double crochet in the last row, then slip stitch into the first stitch that we did to complete that first row, chain 1 and turn. And this is the last row that we're going to do, and you're just going to place 1 half double crochet into every half double crochet from the previous row. So just 1 half double crochet all the way around. After the last stitch, slip stitch onto the first half double crochet, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and at that point we are done. So cut the yarn, pull through, and fasten. So I'm just going to weave in all the ends that are left. Then my top is ready to rock. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, a comment, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and see you in the next tutorial.